Hello and welcome to Intermediate Pilates. We're going to start by just getting our alignment, core and breathing sorted, and then we're going straight into some squat variations today. Got some quite interesting ones for you. So if you want to begin with your feet about hip width apart, please, and just find out where your tripods are. As you know, you've got your heels on both sides of the ball of the foot. And then think about lifting the arches under the sole of the foot. So you can take your fingertips and just kind of check. You should be able to get your fingertips just about underneath the inner arch there. And you do have an outer arch as well, but obviously it's much flatter than the inner one. Thinking about the toes as well, they should just be nice and wide, nice and long, there to support you should you need them. Moving up the body, as you know, you want your knees nice and soft, not locked out at the joints. Okay, so soft knees above the ankles, and you want neutral hips above the knees. So let's just find our neutral hip position. You know the drill with this one. Let's take our pelvic tilts forwards and backwards, tucking under and sticking out, and bringing those hips to the neutral position where our water bowl is nice and still and there's nothing spilling out of that at all. So like I say, we should have ankles, knees and hips. Okay, so once they're all in the correct alignment, we're going to be thinking about working up through the body. So think about where the rib cage is. We might need to just lift the rib cage slightly, maybe lift the chest up slightly, although the ribs may have just already done that job for you. Thinking about the shoulder blade placement as well. Quite often the shoulders are slumped forward and the shoulder blades are quite far apart. So we're going to just roll those shoulders back. Again, you've done this loads of times before, so you know exactly what to do. Just rolling the shoulders up, back and down, and pay specific attention to the shoulder blades as you do so. So as the shoulders rise, the shoulder blades rise, they pull back, the shoulder blades squeeze together, they lower down the spine, staying together, holding together, and then they part as the shoulders come forward. So do have a go at that full sequence and really pay attention to the movement of the shoulder blades. It's awareness really, the first kind of milestone to reach in improving posture is that awareness. So if you can get your brain to be aware of where your posture is, even if you're aware it's in the wrong place, that's the first beginnings to improving it, definitely. So roll those shoulders up and back and gently relax them down. As you do relax them down, relax them towards the hip bones and lengthen through the back of the neck, okay, lifting the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Okay, so chin should kind of be parallel to the ground, gaze wherever the horizon would be, and that should be us quite well set up. I want you just to have a quick test of your core and pelvic floor engagement. I'll not spend too long on it, just have a few goes at pulsing the pelvic floor, make sure you're aware of it, maybe take a nice long hold of it as well, lift it up and hold it, see how that feels. And then have a go at relaxing the pelvic floor and just having a go at the core engagement on its own. So relaxing the tummy and engaging those lower abdominals, okay? You may even want to just hold around the abdomen and you can feel the stomach kind of becoming tighter and more tense when you engage, okay? And then just have a go at both of those together. So lift pelvic floor, draw belly in, get that whole core centering principle switched on. And that's us ready to go with that core engagement and pelvic floor engagement. So let's have a quick go at the breathing as well. Once you've got your pelvic floor lifted and your tummy drawn in, let's have a go at emptying all of the air from the lungs, from the body, and then taking a nice breath in. Remember, we're looking at that rib cage breathing, so if you do want to hold on to your ribs, it's really, really helpful. I find it's the best way to ensure that good lateral breathing technique. So again, I'll not spend too long explaining this to you because you know the principles. We try and keep the breath out of the chest, try and take it into the ribs, okay? We keep the tummy on the pelvic floor up, and there shouldn't really be anywhere else for the breath to go apart from into the ribs, which house your lungs, okay? And you get that lovely diaphragmatic breathing. So just 2 or 3 more. And you can close the eyes as well if you find that helpful. Relaxing those shoulders. And gently release hands, okay? And maybe just take a few breaths without the hands as well. Pelvic floor up, tummy in. And a couple of breaths. Once you've done a couple of breaths without the hands, we're just going to take an arm raise. So when you're ready to inhale, you can gently take the arms up in a nice big circle on the inhale, breathing into the rib cage. And gently then take them down. Let's do that 2 more times. Keep the shoulders low as you swing the arms up. Keep the pelvic floor up, keep the core on, breathing into those ribs. And gently back down again. So we're going to move to a nice wide stance next for a wide-legged squat. As you take your feet wide, your toes will probably naturally turn out because the hips have opened, so you get some external rotation outwards from the hip bones, so that will in turn obviously move your legs and your feet to point outwards as well. So what we're going to do is, you can adjust this as you go. You might find that you need to go wider, you might need to come back in. I want you to do what makes your knees feel nice and comfortable and your hips feel nice and comfortable. So it's just going to be arms forwards and tailbone down to the floor. Let's try and keep tailbone tucked down. Let's try and keep rib cage up, neck nice and long. So squeezing around the hips and the bum already to start with, just to prepare yourself. And inhale, you're going to sit the tailbone down, send the knees in the same direction as the toes, and an exhale to push through the tripods to lift. And again, it's completely up to you how deep you want to go. You may want to go deeper than me. Ribs up, tailbone down, exhale, squeeze all the way down the backs of the legs. So again, just check that the knees are going in pretty much the same direction as the toes. Okay, and the next thing I want you to check is that you're holding your tummy in. So we've got tailbone down, we've got ribs up, we've got tummy in. We inhale and we exhale. Now let's take that breathing into the rib cage if we can. Tailbone down, ribs up, tummy in. Inhale into the ribs as you sit, tailbone towards the floor. Exhale, kind of push away with the hands. Imagine you're using the arms to push you away from the floor. Exhale, lovely, keep that neck nice and long. Retract those shoulders. Let's go for 2 more. Checking in with the arches under the soles of the feet. Make sure they're still prominent, they're still there. You're aware of those arches underneath your feet. Lovely. Last one. Push down with the hands. Exhaling. Back up. Okay. So we're going to go on to some more wide squats. You can take a little pause if you need to just shake out through the legs at all. That's fine. And then we're going to go back to our wide squat position. So from our wide squat position this time, we're going to have a go at moving through with the arms, okay, like we did when we were standing, and we inhaled to lift up and we exhaled to lower down with the hands. We're going to do that from a squat hold. So again, nice and wide, practice what we've just practiced. So tuck tailbone down, lift ribs, draw belly in. Keep the hands in this preparation position. Inhale, we're going to just take a nice breath in. Exhale to go down this time. Inhale, hands up, nice and wide. Keep that tummy in, keep that tailbone down. Exhale. Inhale, pause. Exhale, push through the tripods. Okay, so we get that lovely hold. We're trying to keep the tailbone down, the ribs up, that posture. We're trying to hold the tummy in, but then we've got that breathing technique as well. It's a lovely posture to do the breath from because we're so upright and open. So when you're ready, again, take that inhale to prepare. Squeezing around the hips and the bum. Exhale, we're sitting the tailbone down, keep the tummy in. Inhale when you're ready to take those hands up. Shoulders stay low. Exhale. Inhale, preparing. And an exhale, push through the tripods. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, tailbone down, squeezing around the hips, the bum, the core. Inhale into the rib cage. Exhale. Inhale. Arches through the feet, lovely, push through the tripods, squeezing with the bum. Let's do a couple more. Inhaling, preparing, and exhaling to sit down. Inhale, keep those ribs up, breathe into the rib cage. Exhale. Inhale, hold. Exhale, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Lovely. Last one. Inhale, preparing. And then exhale to sit down, squeezing through the bum, keeping the tailbone down, ribs up, tummy in. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, give it a good squeeze and then gently start to heel toe to walk the feet back in. Really good. You're probably feeling that around the hips and around the quads as well as in the back of the bottom. So really nice. We have got one more wide leg squat variation to go. So if you need to pause the video and maybe just swing your legs around or take a bit of a stretch, please do. The next wide squat variation we'll be doing will be a squat down like we've practiced the whole time, and then as you come up we're going to take a bit of a weight shift and we're going to see if we can just take an abduction with the leg. Okay, so you may want to come in slightly narrower to make that balance easier on the abduction. So maybe bring the feet in only an inch or two, and then you can get a nice squat down and a weight shift with the lift. Okay, and we are going to try and slow it down, so the balance is going to be quite tricky. So when we're all ready, same as what we've practiced, tailbone down, bum on, ribs up, tummy in. Okay, we're going to take a nice inhale as we sit down. So inhale, we'll take the arms forward. Exhale, push down with the hands. Inhale, weight shift. Exhale, return. Inhale, sitting down, ribs up. Exhale, push down with the hands. Inhale, take the weight shift. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, sit the bottom down, ribs up, tummy in. Lovely, exhaling. Inhale, weight shift. Exhale, so we're bending that standing leg to help us. Inhale, down you go. Exhale. Inhale, weight shift. Exhale, take it back down, nice and slow. Let's do one more on each side. Inhale, down. Exhaling. Inhale, weight shifting. Exhale, down you go. The last one, inhale. Exhale. Weight shift on the inhale. And exhale, take it down and release. Gently walk the feet in, and again feel free to shake that off. Now I think I said that was our final leg wide leg variation, and I lied, I'm sorry, we have got one more which I've just remembered. We're going to go with a tiptoe. Okay, so again you'd want to come in kind of narrow enough that you're not going to wobble and lose your balance. Have a practice now. So if you go quite wide and then you press into the balls of the feet and try and lift the heels, you know, you don't get much point through the ankle. The kind of narrower you come, the more extension, well, it's flexion really, but the more lift you can get at the heels. So you need to get that balance between getting the squat happy so that you're not knees overshooting, because as you know, a narrow squat means your knees are going to overshoot the toes and you're going to put too much weight through the knees. So whichever width you get, you don't want the knees to go further ahead of your toes, and you want to be able to get a little bit of lift. Okay, and same principles apply here. So tuck that tailbone down, start squeezing through your bum, start lifting your rib cage, drawing the belly in. Hands in prep position to start with. We're going to inhale to just sit down to a squat. Exhale, weight through the balls of the feet, lift. Inhale. And exhale, push up. Okay, not too bad. Really do think about that core engagement, that lateral breathing technique. That's what we're trying to practice here. So again, when you're ready, we're just going to go in prep position with the hands so it's nice and simple. Tailbone down, ribs up, tummy in. Inhale, squat down. Exhale, push into the balls of the feet, raise the heels, hold the tummy in. Inhale to lower the heels. and exhale, push through the tripods. Okay, so we're going to add in a little bit of arm work with that as well. We're going to start with the hands in front, and as we lift up to the heels, we're also going to lift the hands. This is going to challenge the balance a bit further. So when you're ready, tail weight down, squeeze the bum, lift the ribs, tummy in. Inhale, squat down. Exhale, push into the balls of the feet, raise those hands. Inhale, lower the heels, lower the hands. And exhale, push up. Really nice. Okay, let's make that a little bit harder if you want to. We're going to speed it up. So we're actually going to lift all the way up to the heels. We're then going to squat down on the tiptoes and then squat back up. Okay, if you want to. If you'd rather take it back and do it separately, please do it separately. So if you're doing it separately, you're squatting down, then you're lifting, then you're lowering, then you're squatting up. If you want to combine these, we're going to start from the tiptoes with the heels raised. So hands in prep, lifting up, squeezing, tuck tailbone down, lift rib cage. Inhale, let's sit down, take those hands up high. Exhale, lifting. Can we do 4 more? Inhale. Relax those shoulders. Exhale, lift the rib cage, tuck the tailbone down. Inhale. 2 more to go. Keep drawing the belly in, lift the pelvic floor. Really good. Last one, pelvic floor up. Inhale into the rib cage. And exhale. Lovely stuff. Start walking those feet back in. And again, give it a little bit of a shake out there. So we're just going to finish off our warm up. Legs are nice and warm, hips are nice and open. We're just going to move through the spine before we move on to any upper body work. So if you want to take your ear to your shoulder, take an inhale to prepare. Take an exhale to come down into your side bend. Inhale at the bottom and your exhale to return. Okay, and same side. Inhale, prepare. Exhaling. Inhaling. And an exhale to return. Last one on this side. Ear to shoulder on the inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. And another exhale. Lovely. So let's go down to the other side. Ear to shoulder, inhale, exhale, inhaling, and exhale to lift. Remember, you're squeezing through your bum and through the side of the waist. Let's go for 1 more. Wonderful. And then just into some easy rotations, so nice and loose through the upper body. Keeping the spine tall, okay, so we're not folding, flexing or leaning through the spine. All we're doing is rotating. And I'm going quite slowly. You don't have to throw yourself around. Okay, you might find something that you want to hold on to kind of give yourself a bit of an extra push into the twist. That can be quite nice. But do try and make sure that your spine stays nice and tall. Tall all the way through the back of the neck and to the top of the head. Okay, so just side to side, loosening off. Good stuff, and come back through to centre. As I say, legs, hips are quite warm, shoulders are quite warm. We're going to just do 2 roll downs. So in your time, and you can get a bit creative with these if you want to. I'll give you some suggestions when we're there. I'm going to start to take my hands to the floor and walk my hands forwards a little bit. You might want to do some swaying from side to side, whatever suits you. So get yourself in your lovely Pilates posture. Inhale to prepare. And exhale, start to take your roll down then. Drawing the belly in, coming down with symmetry if we can. Relaxing the head, relaxing the shoulders, lengthening the back of the neck, getting that lovely stretch. Depending on whether you've got tighter back or tighter legs, you'll either be feeling it in the backs of the legs or maybe in the lower to mid back as well. So once you're here, feel free to do some movement. You might want to just wiggle your bum from side to side or your hands from side to side. Like I say, I'm going to just start to walk my hands forwards a little bit to get more of a stretch through the thoracic spine there. So I've got shoulders right by my earlobes, and I've just tiptoed my fingers away from the tailbone as far as I can take them. And then I'm just gently going to walk the hands back in, soften through the knees. Inhale on a preparation breath, and then exhale to push through the tripods, keeping my arches nice and high. Gently tucking the tailbone down, using the hips, the bum, the core as I start to rebuild through the spine. Okay, so my next one I'm going to do, I'm going to be walking on the floor again with my hands. I'm going to walk my hands to the left and to the right, just to get a bit of a twist. But again, feel free to freestyle your own roll downs. Inhale, preparing. And an exhale, start to take it down. Nice and gently. Remember, we're looking to get space into the back. That's the purpose of a roll down, is to separate the vertebrae, okay, and give them space in and around the joints so that you can get fresh fluid to them. So that helps to nourish the joints. Okay, so when you're at the bottom, feel free to kind of freestyle, take some movement, think about the different directions you might want to go. You might want to go left to right, you might want to walk forwards or backwards. See how you go. And when you're ready, we're all going to come back to centre, hang at the bottom of the stretch for a little bit longer. Feel that stretch. And then you're going to take your weight into your tripods. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, start to push through the feet, start to tuck the tailbone down and make your way gently back up to your standing position. So our final roll down is going to bring us to a walkout, to a plank position, and then I'm going to talk you through a few nice tips from your plank. There's going to be a few planking options. You can come to a full plank, which is this one, okay, or you can come to a forearm plank, which is this one, or you can come to any combination of forearm or full arm, but rest your knees on the floor, okay, and then uncurl the toes. If you have got knees on the floor, be careful about the bum position, because if it's too high, you're just on like hands and knees. So you do want to get the bottom into that nice kind of straight line from the knees through the hip bones to the shoulders. But again, careful that you don't sag through the hips and curve through the lumbar, because you're not engaging your core there. So there are your options for your plank position. Let's get going. We're going to do a nice roll down and walk the hands forwards. Inhale, preparing, and exhale, start to take that roll down. So you can soften the knees as you get closer to the floor and take the hands down and start to gently walk the hands out to your plank position of choice. So those of you who are on the full legs rather than the knees, I want you to think about just pushing your heels away from you. Tuck your tailbone under, lift the belly up away from the mat, and then push out away from the shoulders. So push the mat away from you, push the ground away from you, and nice and long through the crown of the head. Keep pulling the tailbone down, keep pulling the core in. Breathe now. Hold for one more breath. And then knees to the floor and gently come off the wrists. Come to a seated position. Roll out through the wrists. So that's your plank position. We're going to have a go at what's called a leg pull, which is basically just from plank position, lift one leg off the floor and hold. So it's going to be a lot of glute work, okay? What the common mistake here is that pelvic girdle slipping. So instead of squeezing through the glute muscle, people tend to kind of rock onto one hip, and you see the hip nearest to you is lifting and rotating. Okay, and what's happening there is you're just twisting the pelvis to lift the leg, where you should be using the muscular engagement, because that's how we improve the tone of the body, by exercising in the right alignment. So we're going to go for 4 on each leg. If we do 4 on one leg, come and have a rest if you want, then go on to the other one. Okay, so make sure your wrists are feeling good. Make sure your plank position is really good. You can get someone to check these for you. You can always take a picture of yourself to check your plank positioning, or look in a mirror if you're not sure. So when you're ready, up to your plank. Don't worry if your bum's a little bit high. As long as your back and your core are working together and co-contracting, that's fine. Okay, it's obviously a little bit harder if you can get your bum a little bit lower. So thinking about that pelvic position, you currently have left and right hip at the same height. You've got that long spine, length from crown to heel, and you're going to inhale to prepare, draw the belly in, tuck the tailbone down. Exhale, squeeze through the bum cheek, gently lift. Inhale to lower, same leg. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower, 2 more if you've got them. And you can gently come to the knees and again come off the wrists, and we'll do 4 on the other side in a moment as well. Now if you're not quite there with the full plank, you can do this from the forearm plank. If you're doing this from the kneeling plank, from any variety of the kneeling plank, what I'd recommend as an alternative is to just do your taps out to the side, so gently extend a leg. But instead of just thinking about moving the leg sideways, pick it up first and then move it. Okay, so that you're still getting that benefit of the lift before you move. So let's do the other leg. Walk yourselves out. Come to plank position of your choice. I'm going to go for a forearm one now. Okay, and we're going to the other leg for 4. So long through the heels, long through the crown, pushing out to the shoulders, tailbone down, tummy in. Inhale to prepare. Don't let your pelvis move as you exhale to lift a leg. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. 2 more if you've got them. Haven't done these for a while, they're harder than I remember them being. Lovely, and when you've done those 4, you can come onto the knees and again just come off the hands, the wrists, whatever you were on, and take a little pause. So we're going to work our way down. We're just going to do 3 on one leg, then 3 on the other, then we'll do 2 and 2, then we'll do 1 and 1. So we're going to see if we can sustain this whole plank for 3, then 3. So sustaining a plank for 6, which is more than we've done so far. So make sure you're feeling all right, you're feeling nice and loose, and we're going for 6. Now I would recommend alternating these ones so you don't get too fatigued on one side, but if you want to do 3 on the right, then 3 on the left, be my guest, okay? So gently walk yourself out to whichever plank position you want. Okay, long through the back of the body, tuck the tailbone down, lift the tummy button, and we're going for 6. So it's an inhale on the prep, and an exhale. Squeeze the glutes, keep the hips in place. Inhale to lower, and then exhale to lift. So that's 2 already, we're nearly there. That's 3, that's halfway. 1 more on each leg. And gently knees to the floor and coming back. And again, ease off. Maybe your shoulders are holding a bit of tension. Okay, that's quite normal. It's a full body workout, this one. But if you are holding a lot more tension than you want to, be more aware of your shoulder positioning. So think about where your shoulder blades are. Are you bunching your shoulders up towards your ears? Do you need to lengthen through the neck more? Do you need to push out and away from the mat a little bit more? Okay, all these things are going to help you with your shoulder strength. Or even just come down to your forearms. Let's go. We're going 2 on each side. Walk it out. 2 leg pulls on each leg in your time when you're ready. So inhale, prepare, get your tummy in, and then exhale to lift. Keep that pelvic position. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. So you're really squeezing nice and tight across the back of the bum cheek here. Okay, as you lift up towards the ceiling. Gently then, when you've finished those 4, walking back. We've just got 1 more set now. We're coming down to just do 1 on each leg, thankfully. So make sure you've got your breath back. Your breath should be kind of slightly intense because it's hard work, but it shouldn't be too fast because we're doing these movements with the breathing. So it's a case of your body wants more oxygen, but it's still getting it in a controlled manner. So let's go out again. Okay, check in, get into your perfect plank posture first. Long through the back of the body, tuck tailbone down, lift tummy, nice and strong out the shoulders. Inhale to prepare, and an exhale. Inhale to lower, and an exhale to lift. Inhale to lower, and exhale. Come back to your child's pose, so just take the bottom towards the heels and head towards the floor. Fingertips nice and wide on the mat and palms on the mat, and just push into the mat and push your bottom closer to the heels there. And reconnect with your breathing again. Again, they should be very full breaths now, because that plank work, if you're holding everything nice and stable, should have been quite tricky. So they should be nice, regular, long, full breaths. And then just take your hands down towards your ankles. Let your shoulder blades part either side of your spine. And just let the body relax towards the ground. Just hold here for another 3 to 4 breaths. And then you can place the hands back on the mat by your sides and gently roll back up through the spine to come to your seated position. So we're going to have a go at the 100 now, just to get the abs activated. We're going to do it twice through. We're going to do it in 2 different leg positions. So I will show you a few varieties depending on like back and neck strains, see how everyone it is. You'll be familiar with these anyway, but quick reminder, if your head and shoulders are really feeling rubbish today, keep them on the ground. You're going to start from your tabletop position and you're just going to do your arms like so. If you need a little bit more of a challenge, you're going to extend one leg, and then about halfway through you might want to just change the legs. Whatever you're doing, you're keeping your lower back on the floor, okay? If you want to do the full 100, it's chin to chest, and it's looking straight between the thighs, and it's doing exactly the same. And again, if you want a little bit more challenge, you can extend a leg and maybe swap halfway through. But as I say, we'll be doing it twice through anyway, so don't worry if you don't want to take that challenge up. Your third option, again, which is a bit of a compromise for the head and shoulders, is your sacrum sit. So it's that one where you go from the tailbones, scoot the tailbone under, take the lean back but lift through the ribs, and you're going to be doing your 100 like this. And then again, it just helps to keep the head and shoulders in a nice straight line, so you're holding with the front of the neck to support the weight of the head. And you can again lift a leg and maybe swap halfway through if you want to. So loads of options there. I'm going to lay back down and have a go on the floor for this first one. And as I say, don't worry about the legs, because we will go through a second time and I'll offer you some other suggestions as well. So when you're ready, you're either going to your sacrum sit or you're coming to your nice tabletop position with your imprinted back. And if you want to, you're tucking the chin, looking straight between the legs, and we're going to inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Nearly halfway. That's your halfway mark now. Nearly there. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Take the knees to the chest or take the feet to the floor and ease off through the back. For our second run through, I'm going to encourage you to try a diagonal leg position. So you can decide yourself on the kind of severity of the angle, but from your tabletop position, I'm just going to ask you to straighten both legs as we go and maintain that contact with the floor. Now, if you're already thinking, oh gosh, no, my lower back's not liking this, that's fine. You can go back to bending one leg or come back to your tabletop position. The other option is to just bring your legs a little bit closer to the body if your hamstrings will allow it. Obviously, the further away the legs are, the harder that's going to get, and you're going to be tummy shaking. So it's completely up to you to decide, as I say, the severity of the angle. So that's your floor one. If you prefer your seated 100, again, you're going to go off the tailbone, tuck the tailbone under, lift the ribs, and you're going to see if you can lift one leg, and if you can, lift both, and do this from the kind of boat pose, which is like kind of an easy teaser, a modified teaser. Okay, if we're going to go full teaser, that's your full teaser, which is quite tricky. So knees bent, back straight. Okay, really all quite tricky options. So have a go. If at any point you think, oh gosh, it's not for me, you can just modify it, adapt it. And if you want to start again and try a different position, you can pause the video and start from the beginning. So again, I'm going to lay down. Okay, I'm going to come up to my tabletop position. Remember, if you're in your sacrum sit, make sure that you've got all of your alignment correct. I'm going to go chin to chest, ready to go, extending one leg, extending two legs, inhale, prepare, and exhale, and beginning to go. That's your halfway point. One, two, three, 4, and 5. Lovely, gently relax. Take that pause, ease your back off in whichever way you feel you need it, whether it's knees side to side, whether it's hugging yourself up into a ball, whether it's taking just a good old stretch and a wriggle around. You may even want to sit yourself up and just take a few twists. Okay, get yourself happy, get yourself comfortable. So our next movement is going to be a roll back, which is a sit up. But we're not doing the sit up bit, we're going to do the release, the roll back bit. So it's quite handy to have something to hold on to, just to give your arms and your shoulders a bit of focus. Now that can be a ball, it could be a block, it could be a cushion, it could even be something weighted like, you know, like a light bar, or maybe a dumbbell in each hand. If you want to add that extra weight element, feel free, or maybe, you know, a ball in each hand, a weighted ball. I'll leave it up to you though to have a play around. So you want to start in a seated position basically, and in the seated position it's comfortable to have your feet quite far away from you. However, as you then roll back, your legs feel a long way away, so you want to actually bring your feet in quite close so that they're a little bit uncomfortably close, I would say, and it encourages you to go to this kind of spine, this roll shape through the spine. We're actually going to see if we can just squeeze onto the belly, lift the rib cage and come to a tall position and take the hands up above the head. Now if you do need to just release a bit, please feel free to release a bit through the feet, but try and lift the rib cage. A bit uncomfortable through the back for some of us, and what we're going to do from here is go to that C-shaped spine. So just relax the shoulders, soften the elbows, and you go to your C-shaped spine. You start to look between your legs and you start to lower down pretty much as slowly as you can, and you end up with your object just in front of you. Now, depending on how good your abdominals are, you may want to then just do a nice quick roll up, so chin to chest, send the ball towards the knees and roll back up. If that's not for you, you can just roll onto the arm, push yourself back up, that's fine as well. The bit we're training is this negative bit, the roll down bit, the roll back. So when you're ready again, feet in, ribs up, core in, inhale, prepare, relax shoulders, exhale, C-shape, 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 look between the legs, chin to chest, gently down, Lovely. And then if you want to, it's going to be that roll back up. And we're going to go again. We're going to go for about another 4 of these. So inhale on the prep, relax shoulders, and exhale, C-shape through the spine. 3 more. So we're looking for that really tight tummy and that really curvy back. So really do curve as much as you can as you lower down. It's going to give you way more strength and way more control if you can really get that curve. Hold on with the tummy, and you just fall down with so much more control. In fact, you don't even fall. You come down with intention, okay? So when you're ready, just curve. Hold on with the tummy and gently down. And then just take a pause. If you need to stretch. If you need to wiggle around. And you may even want to change object. Okay, you might think that you're going to try it with some weight on. It will just add a little bit more resistance, a little bit more work for the core. We're going to run through about another 6 to 8 of those in a moment. So get your breath back. Change your object, change your position, whatever you need to do, and we're going to come back up to a seated position and begin again. So get yourself up to your seated position and focus on this roll back. So walk the feet in, lift the ribs, draw the tummy in already, relax shoulders, soften elbows, inhale on the prep, exhale, really curve the spine, holding on with the tummy. We're keeping the chin to the chest until the head hits the floor, then you let the chin go. So again, when you're ready, ribs up, shoulders down, inhale. Exhale, C-shape, tight tummy, chin to chest, and then gently release. You've got 3 more to go. Slower, tight tummy, curvy spine. And 2 more. Really good, last one. Wonderful, you can pop that object down and again just ease off your back in whichever way you need to. You might want to hug the knees in or do your stretching. You might want to just take a few rocks and rolls from side to side. So we're going to have a go at kind of like a shoulder stand now, and if we're feeling confident we will turn it into a rollover and a control balance. So some of you will have played around with this, you might not have done this for ages, kind of for years. Something we all do as children is our shoulder stand. Okay, so we're going to just have a go at this. It's building on the principles of the rollbacks we just did, and that we're going to have that nice tight tummy and that really good flexible spine. So for your shoulder stand, you want to be able to hug your knees in towards your chest, okay? And then from the knees being tucked into the chest, you're going to imagine that you're trying to knee yourself in the head. So you can start with a few of these rocks and rolls, and as your knees come up, your feet will start to go higher up towards the ceiling, okay? So start untucking the knees. So you're starting quite a tucked position, and get that nice tight tummy, curved spine, and then gradually start to untuck the legs, and then you're going to try and just take with that nice tight tummy, flexible back, you're trying to take the feet up towards the ceiling and you come to catch the hip bones with the hands, okay, so you're in that shoulder stand position. So here, have a wiggle around, get yourself comfortable. We shouldn't have too much weight in the neck, okay? Weight should be in like the upper arms, elbows, okay? And then the shoulder blades as well, kind of backs to the shoulders. And then gently you can come to release and roll down. So have a couple of goes at that, see how far you get. Don't worry if you're not quite there yet, you can keep practicing your tuck-ins. So tuck in and gently, gradually start to open the legs and straighten the legs up. If you're still not quite there, you can start with the hips raised on the ball, okay? And that will be a nice way to start your tuck-ins, because your hips are already raised, you're already kind of going in the correct direction there. Be careful the ball doesn't roll away, but that gives you something nice and high to start from. It makes it a little bit easier until you're happy to catch the hips. Okay, and we're still holding on to the core here, we're not relaxing completely. What I'd like you to do in your shoulder stand now is to start squeezing the bum cheeks together. Okay, so squeeze the bum cheeks, and all you're going to do is gently take one leg down towards the floor and reach the other leg nice and high. So this is like a control balance from the shoulder stand position. You can then squeeze through the bum, squeeze through the core again, and swap the legs. Okay, so still haven't got too much weight through the neck here. Staying nice and steady. Maybe try one more on each side. Get that lovely straight toe, straight leg. And have a go again. Nice, even breathing. And then when you're ready, you just shape the hands around the bum, curl the back down to the floor. Okay, so that's your kind of modification. If you want the harder work version, it's unsupported, so we don't use the hands. We're going to go back into a rollover and into a control balance from there. So with your rollovers, it's that same idea of tucking the knees in towards the head as if you're about to knee yourself in the face, and gradually extending the legs, but instead of taking the feet upwards, we take the feet back over the head as if they're going to come to the floor. So in this position, I have no weight through my neck, okay, at all. I'm balancing on my shoulder blades, bum's off the ground, and legs are just straight in front of me. Now again, you might be a bit limited here depending on your flexibility in your back and the flexibility in your hamstrings, but you can hold on to your feet, so you're effectively just folded in half on your back. Okay, so when you're ready, again, it's a very gentle release, so you can hold on to the backs of the thighs if you want to gently let the legs come down. Right, we'll have a go at that again. So maybe up to your shoulder stand if you preferred it, or into your rollover. If we're doing the rollover, we're going to do our correct breathing. So we're just going to inhale, prepare, and exhale all the way over, and holding onto the feet. Okay, and just hold here. Remember, get onto the backs of the shoulder blades. No weight through the neck. And if you're happy here, we're going to move on to our control balance. Otherwise, have a couple more goes and see how you feel. We're going to actually just hold on to one leg now, so you can hold on the calf or the ankle. And this is where we do the leg split, okay, like we did from the shoulder stand. So we're pointing one leg, we're squeezing the bum, we're squeezing the tummy, because as you take that leg up, it's going to test your core strength, because you're going to want to wobble and fall down onto your bottom. So hold on nice and tight with the tummy, and then bring the leg back down. Okay, you'll know how far you can test it. If you take it nice and slowly, you'll know exactly when you've kind of gone as far as you want to go, and then come back down, because obviously the further you take the leg, you're going to just start rocking forwards. Okay, so you take the leg, and once you've gone too far, you end up taking that rock. You can always rock back in. Okay, but this is your control balance. So we're trying to control the balance, very aptly named, from side to side. And it's really nice for your core, this one, really, really good. But as I say, you can do this from your shoulder stand as well if you'd rather. Very similar movements, still holding on to the tummy. Okay, and then when you've finished, you can gently lower the legs back down to the floor, and then just gently ease it out through the back. Do whatever your back needs to do. Okay, I'm just going to hug my knees in for a moment. But they're both really nice, those ones. The shoulder stand's quite good. If you're a bit scared to move from the shoulder stand to the rollover, you can start reducing the support on the shoulder stand. So you can start with the whole hands and then you might just gradually go to kind of thumb and forefinger or thumb and two fingers, and just gradually release until you can maybe go no hands. And then to get to the control balance, it's just lower the bottom slightly, lower the feet. Okay, and gently back down. So well done if you maybe managed that today, maybe you cracked it. And we'll finish off then with quite some advanced movements. I'll give you a modification as well to make it easier. If we all do the easy one together first, then we'll move up. You're going to need plenty of space for your legs to go side to side, so I might be kicking the mirror here, but see how you go. We're going to lay down to start with. This is called the hip twist. So it's laid down with both your legs straight up towards the ceiling. You can take your hands out to the side, palms face the top, face the ceiling, and all it is a circle with both the legs. So start with a small circle and see how you go, because you really want to hold on to that core. So suck the tummy in, drop the abdominals down to the floor, relax the shoulders, length from the back of the neck. Make sure that your spine is really snug and comfy, and then inhale as you go down and exhale to circle back up, and change direction each time. Inhale on your way down, exhale to circle back up, and you can really feel that on the core quite quickly. And you test the water by taking the circle bigger if you wish. Okay, you don't have to, you've got the weight of both legs to control here. So we're using hip strength and we're using core strength. Trying to keep that spine absolutely flat on the floor. Let's just do 3 more. Exhale on the circle back. Inhale to circle down. Last one. Bend knees and relax legs. Take a stretch if you need a stretch. So that is your hip twist. Okay, it's just double leg circles really. Laying on the back. We're going to move on to the more advanced variety now, which is from a sort of seated position. So it's seated but supported. In fact, if I go this way, I think I might have more space for my legs. So long legs, hands out behind you for support. You can hold on to the hands as much or as little as you want to. Palms on the floor, fingertips nice and wide, shoulders back and down, chest up. Just walk the feet in to start with. We're going to have to gently lift one leg at a time. So you take a slight lean back. We're going to gently lift one leg, then the other, and go out. Okay, hands on the floor behind you, wherever you need them, probably behind the shoulders. And again, it's an inhale to circle down and an exhale to circle up. Really tricky, this one. Other way, inhale down, exhale up, back again. So I'm trying not to put too much weight through my hands. They're just here to support me. Inhale, exhale, really getting that tummy shape now. I'm going back 2 more times. Really lengthening through the torso on the extension and tightening as you come up. You bend the knees to come out of that position. And I'm just going to take a slight forward fold just to ease through the back. So I'm just going to take a nice reach and take a breath. I really like these movements. They're really tricky, but they just get so much of your abdominals rather than, you know, a single directional sit up. You've got that rotation in both directions. You've got the extension and the contraction of the torso. So it's really nice. Let's go again. So when you're ready, coming to sit, you're on that coccyx sacrum that we're really familiar with, okay? Shoulders up, back and down. Make sure you're not, you know, sinking into your shoulders. We're keeping nice and strong. Nice soft elbows, so we're not hyperextending elbows, and wide hands. You can come to lift a leg, and then we're going for straight legs, so nice and strong through those quads there. And it's your inhale to circle down, and your exhale to circle up, back the other way. Inhale, exhale, inhaling, exhaling. Just going to do 2 more. Keep those legs straight, point those toes. Bend knees and relax. We will do one more set of those in a moment, so ease off. Lovely stretch through the back. And ready for our third and final set of 6. So hands behind you somewhere. As I say, you can adjust these around as you need to. Just make sure that the shoulders are strong and the elbows aren't locked out. That's your main focus. So get those hands somewhere comfy. Lift through the ribs, lifting the legs, straight legs, strong quads. Inhale, circle. Exhale, lift. And obviously the smaller the circle, the easier it will be. So don't worry about dropping the legs too low. I'm going for 2 more. Really nice. And back the other way. Bend knees and gently push yourself back up. I'm going to take a slight twist to each side now. In fact, if I face the camera, that's helpful. You don't have to cross your legs, but if you want to, it's quite helpful. Take one hand to the opposite knee and then keep that tall spine. Okay, so lengthen and then just twist around. You can pull on that knee, and I'm placing the spare hand just behind me on the floor and pushing up tall and then twisting around. And you can see you there in the mirror. So looking over the shoulder, taking that nice twist, and then taking the head back and gently relaxing back through to centre and going the other way. So opposite hand to opposite knee, lifting up through the spine and then twisting around. Using the knee to kind of propel yourself, give yourself a little pull. Lovely, and head back to centre. And gently releasing. So let's have a go at our oblique stretch while we're sitting here, shall we? Let's reach up with one hand, lift up through the chest, up through the sternum, reach up and reach over the side, trying to pull your rib cage away from your hip bone there. And breathe. Keep breathing into that side. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to push into the floor and come back up to a seated position. And let's go the other way. So reach up, lift up through the chest, up through the sternum, reach up, reach over. And stretching into that big open side. One more breath. And then gently pushing into the floor. Coming back through to centre. So let's take one arm and it's going to go over the back and try and touch the spine. To get the tricep stretch, you're going to want to just push or pull the elbow so it's going backwards over the shoulder in that direction. And then you can kind of tiptoe the fingertips down the spine there to get that stretch there as well. And breathing. And releasing, and we'll go on to the other side. So hand over the top, touch the spine, and then again push back the elbow with the other hand. Breathe. And we're going to do some good leg stretches as well, because after those plank leg lifts and those wide squats earlier, your legs and your hips will be wanting a stretch. So gently releasing there. And we're going to bring the feet together. We're going to do our little butterfly leg stretch. So if you need to sit on a block to make your back more comfortable, make your spine more straight, grab your block. What you're going to do is bring your feet together, so soles of the feet together to begin with, and just gently walk your bum towards your heels or pull your heels towards your bum. And sit with as straight a spine as you can muster, and then let the knees fall out. You may want to just apply some pressure with the forearms. Okay, the weight of the arms might be enough, and just see how you go there. So what we're going to do, again, if you need it, you may be absolutely fine here, you might be on fire already, but if you need it, sit with a tall spine and just see if you can lean forwards gently into the stretch a little bit. And then just take a few breaths. So this is getting your adductors, your shorter adductors in the inner thighs. And gently sitting back up, and you can help yourself by bringing your knees back in. So I'm going to do a stretch for our glutes now. You can do your reclining pigeon if you would rather. I'm going to do a bit of a pretzel leg stretch. Just a quick reminder, your reclining pigeon is this one. Okay, or for some of you, it's this one. If you want to have a go at the pretzel leg stretch, see what you think. We have done this on a class before, I think, one of the online classes, but you go legs apart, okay, and then you're crossing. If we go right in front of left, cross at the thighs and at the knees, and then bend the knees so that the feet fall out in the opposite directions. You're then going to see if you can grab onto your feet. You might find that you can grab one ankle and not the other, okay, in which case maybe a strap would be useful to help you grab that foot. And the idea is that you pull the legs in towards the chest. So don't just pull them down to the floor, actually pull them up in the direction of your chest, and you should be getting a stretch kind of somewhere in the leg and the buttock, okay? So it's quite similar to the pigeon stretch in that it gets your hip, your leg and your bum, but I think it gets slightly more central and kind of deeper in the bottom as well, rather than just the outer leg. But as always, where you feel these stretches does depend on your kind of muscular composition and what you're feeling and when. Okay, so opening the legs again, and this time you're taking the left leg in front of the right, crossing at the knees and the thighs, and then just let the knees bend, the legs are going in the opposite directions, and then just grab on towards the ankles and pull them up towards the chest. So you pull your knees in to your torso. So it's very similar, like I say, to that reclining pigeon, because actually from here you can slip into a reclining pigeon quite easily. It's just different angle on the leg. But some of you might find this loads better. And just hold and enjoy. And then straighten those legs and take them back down to the floor. Stay laying down. We're going to go through our full body stretch next. So hands, fingers up above you and toes pointing down away from you, and take a lovely, lovely stretch through the front of the abdominals. So let the lower back curve off the floor, really stretch out through the front of the tummy, and you might want to wiggle and reach on one side or wiggle and reach on another side, and just enjoy that stretching out there. Oh, lovely. And just return back in. So once you've finished that full body stretch, we're going to stretch the front of our legs, okay, because we will have used them squatting quite a lot. So if you want to roll over onto all fours to start with, we're going to do our lunge stretch, which we did last week actually. So you're going to take one leg forwards and kneel on one knee. Make sure your knee's comfortable. You can always put a blanket down or roll the mat over a little bit. And you're going to just start to take the hips forwards, okay? And as you take the hips forwards, you might not feel a stretch yet, so you may just want to wiggle the front foot and then dip again, and just keep trying to take the hips towards the floor until you feel a stretch. Now for me, quite flexible, I need to go quite low with that, with the hips. I've still got the front knee pretty much above the front ankle. Okay, you can take the hands to the floor to support you, or take the hands to some blocks to support you as well. And we're just going to enjoy this stretch here. Okay, so bring the hand inside the foot and gently walk the foot to the side of the mat. Okay, so we've got foot, hand, hand here, so we've got that wide leg. From here, I just want you to tuck the back toe under and then see if you can just lift the knee. So we're supporting ourselves with our foot and both of our hands. Breathing. And then gently drop the knee. And if you can, you might not want to, but see if you can just walk the hands forwards and maybe come a little bit lower with the body. You don't have to come all the way, just gently dip the ribs towards the floor as well. Holding. And gently, we're going to come back the way we came. So start to walk the hand, and then the foot back to centre and the hand to the outside of the leg. Look forwards, and then we're going to just push out of the front leg, send the heel back, the bum back towards the heel, and we're going to come into a hamstring stretch. So leave the front foot where it is and come to take the hips backwards, lifting that front foot. Now, if that's really not comfortable for you, you can come onto your back and do your hamstring stretch. I'm going to come to the floor, bring this leg out in front of me, and we're working on this extended leg. So kneecap down, toes up, sitting up nice and straight, take that reach up, and then take a reach up and over the hip bones with that straight back. Once you've gone as far as you can with a straight back, allow the back to bend and come down, kind of forehead towards the kneecap, and you're thinking a knee towards the ankle, nose towards the ankle. Can't get my words out today. Nose towards the ankle, that kind of direction. So pull the hip bone back into its socket, roll up and over the hip, kneecap down, toes up, and just take a couple of breaths here. And then you're just going to take hands to the mat, gently roll yourself back up. We're going to have a go at that sequence on the other side, so we're going to come on to kneeling again. So whichever leg was forwards that time, we're taking the other leg forwards. So we come to kneel. Okay, get that hip width with the feet, and you can start to take that hip sinking lunge. And if you need to go further and longer with the lunge, take it further, take it longer. So I'm going to go for quite a long one, bringing my hips towards the floor, keeping my knee pretty much above the ankle, and I've just got hands on the floor, but you could always grab blocks as well. Just breathing here. So I've actually got my knee down the side of my chest so that my chest isn't cramped. There's plenty of space to breathe. And what we're going to do is bring this outside hand inside the foot and walk the foot to the edge of the mat so that we've got both hands then pretty much flat on the ground. Curl the back toe under and then see if we can just lift the knee. And we get that slight engagement through the thigh then, which helps with the stretch. Breathing. And if you can and if you want to, you can eventually try and bring your body a bit closer to the floor, so drop the ribs a bit closer to the floor, but see how you go. And I'm going to take the knee back down to the ground, uncurl the toes, and again just rearrange the hands and the foot, so bring the foot back in, hands either side, and you're going to push into that foot, send the bottom back towards the heel, leave the front leg where it is and come to sit on the back foot. Okay, that's where your sock falls off. So if you're uncomfortable sitting on the back foot, which I am a little bit, I'm going to just bring that back foot to tuck in to the groin area and focus on this long leg out in front of me. So kneecap down, toes up, sitting up with a tall spine. I'm going to reach up and over the hip bones as I come towards the leg with that straight back into that curved back. And I'm just going to go knee towards nose and nose in the direction of the ankle then. Okay, you don't have to like reach as far as you can. You can just relax the hands on the leg or on the mat. And remember to pull the hip joint back into its socket and roll yourself forwards and over the hip. And then when you're ready, you can gently take hands to the floor and bring yourself back upright. Extend both your legs and give them a bit of a wiggle, a bit of a shake. Okay, and we're going to just come to a comfortable seated position now, so whatever that is for you. We will finish off with a few breaths together. So sitting tall with the shoulders above the hip girdle, okay, and we're going to take that reach up on the inhale, reach, lift the ribs. Exhale, take it down, and again reaching up. And exhale, take it down. One more time, reach up and hold. And gently bring that back down. So really, really well done today. I've worked you very hard, lots of lower body, and those rollovers, some of them come really naturally to some of you, but I know rollovers can be a really tricky one for those of you with, backs that just don't like to bend. Stubborn backs. So really well done, and thank you again for joining me. I hope you've had a good time and that you're feeling a bit better. So I'll see you on the next video.